Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. I do deliver it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And we celebrate every day, but today is extra special because it is National Law Enforcement Day. Say thank you to a first responder, to a law enforcement officer. Appreciate what they do each and every day for us. They go out there, when we're running out of a building, they're running in. Or when we're running away from a situation, they're running toward it. So it's just remember those issues when you're out there thinking about these law enforcement officers, what they do every day for us. Say thank you to them. See them at Starbucks today. Make sure you are the one buying a cup of coffee. Wherever you might run into them. Just my personal opinion. I share it all the time. So throw that out there. See if you can help a law enforcement. They don't need it. It's not like they don't make good money as it is. So just remember that. They're out there doing what they do so that we can do all the things that we do. And say thank you. It doesn't cost a whole heck of a lot of money to go out there and say thanks to these men and women who are out there putting it on the line for us every single day. And I won't even tell you that it's National Apricot Day or Static Electricity Day. And those are all secondary when we're talking about law enforcement officers. But we do watch the markets for you. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average right now, 25,402 as I speak. Oil, 62.66 a barrel. It continues its upward climb. That's not going to be good for us when we start going to the pump again, especially in Taxifornia, because we like to pay a lot of taxes, and our state loves to collect whatever they can or waste whatever they can. So we know we're in that scenario. But if you look at the national average for a gallon of gasoline, $2.49.1. In Taxifornia, we're paying $3.16.5. $3.16.5 for a tank of gas. The best priced gas in the country. Well, I guess somehow I got onto a wrong screen here, so we'll have to go back and get you. Well, I guess we even have it by county on here nowadays. So the AAA has updated or upgraded their site, so we get even more numbers. Orange County, $3.20.9 is the cost of gasoline in Orange County. But go back and look at Taxifornia, $3.16.5, the cheapest gas in the country. Cheapest gas in the country, where I'm looking to find where it's at, $2.22.7 in Missouri. So think about that. Louisiana, $2.28.3, although they're probably partying over there right now, or actually Alabama's partying from the game last night. Holy cow, did you watch that game at all? That was fairly amazing game, but just check out the gas prices. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about our state gasoline tax rates. 2017 numbers 38.13 cents is the gas tax just in Taxofornia. That's as of the first of last year, according to AAA. We're looking to get the newest numbers coming out, so we'll watch that for you as well. What are the bond markets doing? Because that's the number that has to do with your housing. So we're going to look at those for you. The 10-year Treasury up 6 basis points on the yield, 2.54. We are really getting up there. It's been a while since we've seen the 10-year yield at that high of a number. So we're just going to keep on watching that 10-year for you and see where that goes. Why do we watch the 10-year? Well, the important part of that has to do with mortgage rates. Yes, mortgage rates follow the 10-year. The bond is down 28 basis points right now. The Fannie Mae 30-year, 3.5% bond down 28 basis points. That means interest rates are up. Whenever we see the bond go down, the interest rate goes up. We are watching that happening right now. And we did go through and pass through some significant support. So got to be careful right there. We made hard to tell how far down that bond is going to go. Ironically enough, I did do the broadcast yesterday talking about when is the right time to refinance. So there's a lot of that information right out there for you as well. But what's driving the numbers, that's what we want to look at. Let's get deep into it. So where are we finding that? Relatively quiet on the economic side. We did get the Small Business Optimism Index. That comes from the National Federation of Independent Business for the month of December. The report showed that optimism among small businesses softened a bit to 104.9 from last month's reading of 107.9. But remember, that is from a multi-decade level. One of the interesting internals was future compensation plans, which jumped 6 points to 23%, the highest since March 2000. This means that higher wages and wage pressured inflation may be coming. But I am looking at a few folks that are watching with us right now. One of the issues, did you see this story come out? I don't know if you caught this one. Red Robin is in the news in 570 of their restaurants. No more busboys. They're getting rid of the busboys at Red Robin restaurants. The move will save the company about $8 million this year. The move particularly impacts West Coast restaurants, where the chain has a larger presence, where wages have risen faster. Why are they doing this? Well, the minimum wage has to be covered somewhere. So as we continue to watch minimum wages increase, restaurants are finding a way. They've got to still make a profit. They've still got to serve their customers. They still have a limit as to how much they can charge for their product. So something has to give. Well, it's going to be service. We've already watched it happen in some of the fast food restaurants where you can now order from a kiosk. You don't have to worry about going and ordering from a human individual. You can order from a kiosk, and these are all issues. There are always going to be repercussions. You get these activists who are continually saying, you know something, we're going to force business to do X. Well, they didn't come up with a way of forcing people to spend more. They didn't come up with a way of helping the bottom line. So as they put more and more regulation on business, business has to figure out, how do we solve the problem? Let's just think about this concept. Are you excited to get on an airplane? Anybody excited to get on an airplane? I haven't found anybody that's really excited to get on an airplane. Well, as they put more and more regulation on the airlines, and they have a pressure, they cannot increase, there's price resistance to increasing prices, what's happened in the airline industry? Less and less service. So we're probably going to start seeing that in the restaurant world as well. Less and less service. Fast food, they've gotten rid of the people taking your order. They'll continue doing that as they find more and more ways of getting a kiosk or an iPad to do the same thing. Now we see Red Robin, which is the next level up of restaurant. Get rid of the busboys. They may end up sticking a pitcher of water on your table and say, you know something, we don't have any busboys. You might end up getting a little less service. Will you tip less? Hard to say. But you're going to get less service, so maybe you'll end up tipping less, or maybe they'll end up having to go to a different system. They'll find a solution to the problem. But the problem is there. Watching the news right now, the Dems Holy cow. Do you think they've already picked their 2020 presidential candidate? Oprah Winfrey will be the candidate for the Democrat Party in 2020. Seems like it's already been anointed. They already did that with Hillary last time, right? It didn't matter who wanted to run. They just pick who they want. That's who it is. Looks like Oprah Winfrey will be the candidate. Interesting to see, though. I mean, there's a lot of pictures out there. After her speech yesterday Sunday at the Golden Globes, I didn't watch it, but saw some excerpts. Looked like a campaign speech. Does she have any other business policy? I'm not sure if there are any others there. It would be fascinating to see the two actors. Very fascinating. You watch two actors, Trump and Oprah, running for office at the same time. Harvey Weinstein, we know, is a friend of Oprah's, so we've already said there's all kinds of pictures out there of that one. Wonder how that's going to play over with the media. And Mueller ready to interrogate the President of the United States. Do you think the President's legal team will let him go and do that? Unbelievable. I would hope they don't. But with this president, you just never know. CNN wants Trump on the couch. Struggling CNN is now suggesting that the President Trump should submit to a comprehensive mental health examination. Maybe that's where we should put some of the hosts from CNN is into a mental health examination. Just unbelievable. New Yorker's Magazine new issue features a drawing of quarterback Colin Kaepernick kneeling next to Martin Luther King Jr. Also included in the image is a Seattle Seahawks defensive end, Michael Bennett, another leader of the NFL protest movement. Kaepernick's not playing anymore. Bennett is out right now. Maybe we'll see some benefit to the playoffs or in the NFL. But the NFL ratings, they take another blow. Last weekend's wild card games in the NFL were down in the ratings by about 10% from a year ago. Part of the decline can be attributed to a lack of big market marquee teams, but the Kaepernick-inspired protests undoubtedly played some role. The league is hoping that the Patriots, Steelers, and Eagles will lure back wayward viewers this coming weekend. Hard to tell. We'll see what happens there. Golden Globes, those are not so golden. Sunday's Golden Globes Awards show took a substantial hit in the ratings as well compared to last year. There was speculation that viewers would tune in to see how the show handled the Harvey Weinstein scandal, but the Globes attracted 11% fewer eyeballs in the key demographics. So we've got the NFL down because people don't want to watch politics and sports. Golden Globes ratings down. People don't want to watch politics and sports. Maybe we'll start getting a clue here. Well, eventually people will start understanding, or some of these networks will get a clue, that people tune into the NFL because they want entertainment. It's not because they care about the intellectual value of all the players. They tune in to the Golden Globes or some of these award shows because they want to see entertainment. They don't care what Oprah's personal preferences are. Just a thought there. It's just one opinion to give out to some of these networks that continually watch their ratings drop. But maybe they just don't care. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, ways to improve your credit score in 2018. We'll chat about it, the impact of tight inventory on the housing market, how to shop for a home in this challenging market, and we're going to define good debt and bad debt. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Get that ultimate home finance toolkit today. All you need to do is text RF Toolkit, request for toolkit, RF Toolkit, no spaces, to 79564. Get the toolkit. It's got the mortgage calculators you're looking for, the affordability worksheets you're looking for, and it'll get you some information on rates as well. What are the rates? What are they doing? Obviously, I shared with you a little earlier, based on what I'm seeing, the rates are going up this morning. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but that is what is happening. So we share that information with you. The 10-year Treasury continuing its increase. The Dow Jones Industrial Average continuing to increase as well. So we're just watching all of these numbers as they continue to run by for us on the markets, and I will continue to report them for you. The impact of tight housing on the real estate market, the impact of tight inventory on the housing market is the subject of today's real-time real estate segment. Housing crisis finally in the rearview mirror as the real estate market moves down the road to a complete recovery. Home values are up, home sales are up, and distressed sales, foreclosures, and short sales have fallen to their lowest points in years. It seems that the market will continue to strengthen in 2018. However, there is one thing that may cause the industry to tap the brakes: a lack of housing inventory. While buyer demand looks like it will remain strong throughout the winter, supply is not keeping up. Here are the thoughts of a few industry experts on the subject, and I also heard this morning an interview with Jamie Dimon. I think it's Chase that he's the chairman of. I never remember whether it's J.P. Morgan Chase or if it's Morgan Stanley. But Jamie Dimon coming out pretty strong and saying that if we were to get J.P. Morgan Chase, CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, if we could get the regulation out of the mortgage world and the limitations and the risk, we'd see a huge increase in our economy, even more than what we're seeing right now. His commentary, very fascinating to listen to him, just because he's got his hand on the pulse of all of these different issues, talking about the fact that there is so much risk as far as government between the lenders and the government that they look to avoid giving loans to people with any kind of sketchy credit. And that could be people that are great credit risk as well, self-employed people who have demonstrated that they're managing their income, they're taking all the expenses that they can legally, but anybody with a quarter of a brain could see what they're doing. And you can see that they can afford the properties that they're looking at, but because of lending guidelines and scrutiny and the worry that they're going to be, what the regulators are going to say, good people are not getting the loans that they should. And on the other side, there are products available. There are companies that are willing to charge a little more and accept a little higher risk. Yet again, the government regulation prohibits it. Don't want to go back to subprime. There's a lot of people that could be buying houses that, well, if they could find them, they'd like it. But according to the National Association of Realtors, I quote them, total housing inventory at the end of November dropped 7.2% to 1.67 million existing homes available for sale, and is now 9.7% lower than a year ago, which when it was at 1.85 million units, and has fallen year over year for 30 consecutive months. Unsold inventory is at a 3.4-month supply at the current sales pace, which is down from 4.0 months a year ago, unquote. Joseph Kirshner, senior economist at Realtor.com, his quote, the increases in single-family permits and starts show that builders are planning and starting new construction projects. That's a good thing because it will help to relieve the shortage of homes on the market, unquote. Sam Catter, deputy chief economist at CoreLogic, quote, inventory is tighter than it appears. It's much lower for entry-level borrowers, unquote. Bottom line, if you're thinking of selling, now may be the time. Demand for your house will be strong at a time when there is very little competition. That could lead to a quick sale for a really good price. And I've shared with many folks, I did over the weekend again as well when I was talking to a couple, price the property just a little bit below market, get a bidding war going, and watch the price sell for way above market. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text RF Toolkit. Get that toolkit, RF Toolkit. Text RF Toolkit to 79564, the ultimate home finance toolkit. We even have some information in there for those who are contemplating purchasing and need some down payment assistance. How about 5%, up to 5% down payment assistance? So as we move into the start of the new year, a lot of folks look at their credit scores and want to know, how do we increase our credit scores? What can we do to improve our credit scores? So I thought I'd come up with a list of items here that includes some ambitious expectations for the new year as millions of us make the resolution to finally get out of debt, save to buy a house, or just improve finances. Of course, getting your credit score in New Year's form is essential for any of those, so let's get on with the list here. Number one, pay down your credit card balances to build up your score. Your credit utilization ratio accounts for 30% of your credit score. So the most effective way to improve your credit score, pay down your revolving credit card debt. And while you may hear that paying down debt to 30% of the available balance is a good mark, an ideal credit utilization ratio is actually around 10% or lower. So neither one is really wrong. 30% is good, 10% is better. Just remember that. Now, how do you do that? There's two ways of getting your credit utilization lower. Number one, pay down the debt. Number two, increase the line. If you increase your line of credit do not go out and spend more money because that'll defeat the purpose and you'll have higher payments. It'll mess you all up. So that's the first item. Don't miss a payment. The first thing any lender wants to know is whether you've paid past credit accounts on time. According to FICO, 96% of people with a FICO score of 785 or greater have no late payments on their credit reports. How do you make sure that happens? We've talked about this one in the past. Go right now, well, after the broadcast, because I've got a whole bunch of other items here to help you with your credit scores. So right now, go and set up on your credit, on your banking system. Go to your banking system, your Chase at B of A or Wells Fargo or whomever, and set up an automatic payment. Look at every credit card you have. What is the payment due date? And set a minimum payment to be made right before the payment due date for every one of your credit cards. I don't care if it's $25, $50, $100, whatever it is. Set up a minimum payment so it goes there every month, same time, like clockwork. Even if you get hit by a bus, it's still going to happen. Well, don't go hit by a bus. But right there, a lot of the benefits come out, and you'll be able to never miss a payment. They're always, always on time. We're going to get into more of these when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Jeremy, I'll get to your question or comment when we get back. I see it there. Jeff, good to see you online. Robin, glad to see you with us. Linda, Bobby, Joe, Dana, Chris, Claudia, Byron, Sergio, Laura, all glad to see you all with us. Todd, Christopher, Mike, it's good to see you. I'll get to all these questions, comments when we come back. We'll also talk about how does student loan forgiveness work? We might get to that one. How to shop for a home in this challenging market. What is good debt versus bad debt? So we'll talk about that one as well. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The word on wealth set. Well, we'll do that a little bit later. The Mortgage Minute today, how to shop for a home in a struggling market. Mortgage Minute, that is the subject today. Mortgage Minute is being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star is the only one that I know of that has the Fast Pass loan approval. Gold Star Mortgage. Save 10 to 50% when you're getting that new mortgage because Gold Star has that Fast Pass loan approval. How to shop for a home in this challenging market, and I'm going to share with you, you need a great real estate agent to help you in this one. September 2017, sales of new homes in the U.S. shot up to the highest level in nearly a decade. The Commerce Department reported an 18.9% increase for the month, during which about 667,000 newly built homes were sold, a figure not seen since October 2007. September's increase also represented the biggest month-over-month percentage gain since January 1992. Such figures may be great news for those monitoring the robustness of the country's housing market. It's not ideal news for buyers of modest means. These statistics mean that Americans unable to find existing homes are increasingly turning to new construction. There's a lot of issues in here. Again, I've talked about this many, many times. Get that Ultimate Home Finance Toolkit. It's free. All you have to do is text RF Toolkit to 79564. Get that toolkit right now. Go over there, check out what you can afford. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. We will find a great real estate professional to help you with searching. Yes, I have a real estate license. I've told you that before. That is just full disclosure. I am not one that would help you with buying a house. I look at the lending side of. I'm a numbers guy. I don't go out there and go shopping. That's. I don't even like shopping for anything. So shopping for a house would not be fun for me. But I do know the people that do like to do that are very good at helping people with that. So get the Ultimate Home Finance Toolkit. Go out there and let's get you figure out what you can afford. There's a mortgage calculator, an affordability worksheet in there. And then we'll get you a Fast Pass approval, not pre-approval, Fast Pass approval from our friends over at Gold Star, and you can start right away in getting that new home. You're same as cash buyer at that point. So we are continuing ways to improve your credit score. Jeremy, you're right. Adding a spouse, if they've got the right credit profile, can help your credit score. Sending your payments early may also help your credit score. Each creditor has a report date when they send their information to the credit bureaus. If you use your credit card a lot and pay it off at the due date, the higher balance will always show on your credit report that month. But if you make payments well before you receive your bill and the due date, the higher balance will not report. That's the same thing I've been talking to you about for years now. Make 2 payments every month. If you remember in the last segment, I said to you, set up a method where you're making your minimum payment that's automated right through your banking system. Automatic payment goes in like a day or two before your payment due date, and that way you're never late on the payment. That's 30% of your score. Now, another big part of your score is going to be what your balance is, your utilization. We talked about that one as well. How do you minimize your utilization? Well, you need to know when your statement closing date is. So there's 2 dates for you to be aware of with your revolving debt, your credit card debt. One date that you want to know is what is the payment due date. We already talked about that one. The other date that's very important is the statement closing date. About a week before that statement closing date, so if it's the 15th of the month, you want to go in right around the 8th of the month every month and see what your balance is, see how much you can afford to pay. And make that payment right then so it arrives at the bank before the statement closing date. If you're going by snail mail, you got to do it a little earlier. If you're doing it by the ACH systems, most banks can get that done in 2 days. So you just go and you make that payment right away so that it gets to the bank right before the statement closing date. Most institutions report right at the statement closing date, right? So if you've got the lowest possible balance, then the reporting will never show those higher numbers. You're going to get the benefit of having a higher limit, lowest possible utilization, help your credit scores. Next, check your credit report regularly. It's important to make sure that there are no errors on your credit file. A significant number of credit reports do have errors which can lower your score. I've been looking at credit reports since the 90s. Holy cow. Never ever seen a credit report that's completely accurate. Never. Roger, I see that you're buying houses. So that might be, you're right. It probably is fun if you're the right person. I'm just not the right person for that. So, you're probably right. Buying can be fun. But that's why you got to find a great team, and you're probably real estate in that world. Just looking at the name that you have on there, Roger Joel's BD Homes. So I'm sure that you're probably one of those that can help people and come up with some good information there and help them find that new home. So check your credit report regularly. It's important to make sure that there are no errors on the report. We talked about that. Don't be tempted to buy new credit card. Don't be tempted by new credit card offers or taking on new debt. You can have these solicitations stopped by being sent to optoutprescreen.com. Optoutprescreen.com. Register right there. That'll help you. Pay off a collection will not increase your credit score. Just remember that part of it. It's not paying off. The collection is what would hurt your score in the first place. So just the mere fact that it was filed as a collection. It's not the balance, but the fact that it went into that status. But your score will increase if the collection agency is willing to delete the account from your credit report. They can delete it. Don't let them tell you that they can't do it. What is a collection company? What is their number one issue? The number one issue for a collection company is to collect money. In most instances, they make absolutely nothing if they don't get some money from you. They've either one of two things. They've either purchased your bad debt from the creditor. So it might be if you have a $100 bad debt, they may say, okay, I'll pay the creditor $10 and we'll see what we can get out of it. Or they're going to get a percentage of whatever they collect and the balance goes to the creditor. Either way, they don't make any money if they don't collect. So if you negotiate with them, negotiate the issue that they're going to stop reporting to all agencies. If they stop reporting, it's going to come off your credit report because there's nothing mandated, nothing required to be on your credit report. The only thing that's the requirements for being on the credit report is it must be complete, it must be accurate, and it must be verifiable. Complete, accurate, and verifiable. If the Bureau can't do all three of those, or if they can't verify all three of those, it has to come off. So if the credit collection company stops verifying, the data comes off. Number 7, don't go without credit. You only have a credit score if you have an active credit history. We spoke about this a little bit yesterday where they're looking at doing some alternative credit scoring models. Well, the alternative credit scoring models they're looking for people that have no credit history. Well, you need a credit history under today's methods. So some credit scoring systems can't even calculate a score if there's not a balance. So when you pay off your credit card in full, Again, only if you're doing it before the statement closing date. They won't even recognize it. They won't even know about it if you're doing it right before the payment due date. But if you do that before the statement closing date, they may find that they're trying to divide, but they've got a zero in the division. Might cause a problem. So leave a little bit of money on there. Don't allow incorrect or inaccurate information to stay on your credit report. If you notice that there is something incorrect listed on your report, have it corrected or removed. We talked about this a little bit. I think Jeremy brought this up in the stream a little earlier. You might look at becoming an authorized user for someone else's credit card. Now, you have to make sure it's the right type of an authorized card. What I mean by right type? Well, it needs to be an older card. If it's something that's brand new, it may not help your score too much. It could even lower your score if that credit card is brand new and it brings your scoring length of credit down. So you want something that's old. Preferably, you want something that's got a large limit, low balance, always paid on time. Once you're an authorized user, the new positive trade line will show up on your credit as if you've had it for the duration. It's important you do it correctly. Remember, it's got to be a credit line that's in good standing, and both parties have to trust each other because you're getting put on this credit information. Talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Ways to improve your credit score in 2018. That is our topic of the day. And we'll get back to that. Defining good debt versus bad debt. We'll talk about that as well when we come back. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send hand you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. They all are wrong. That's why I say yours is. It's just pretty common knowledge. I mean, after looking at credit reports for so many years, we understand that every one of them has an error on it, or at least everyone I've ever seen. And I've seen some with high scores, low scores. Doesn't matter. They're equally incorrect. Good morning. Glad to see you, Jeremy. Good to see you there. Roger, Veronica, Michael, glad to see you with us. Continuing our conversation, or bad debt versus good debt, I guess, is what we wanted to chat about in the Word on Wealth segment. Bad debt versus good debt. So what is the difference between the two of them? U.S. consumers lead the world in personal debt many times over, with a total debt load $13.62 trillion these days between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, installment plans, and more. Yes, we're indebted to those never-ending credit cards, too, with more than $1.02 trillion in credit card charges, the highest in history. Point blank, we're buying more than ever, not with cash, but with our future promise to pay. Our government, too, is no stranger to debt, as our national balance sheet is almost $20 trillion in debt. That's $20 trillion for those keeping track at home. $62,915 of federal debt for every person in the U.S. Oh, and that doesn't even include state and local debt, agency debt, or future liabilities like paying Social Security, Medicare. Yeah, we like to charge it up. That's the exact reason financial gurus and educators are so adamant that you pay off all your debt. In fact, Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, who I don't have a lot of respect for, and other personal financial icons, always talk first and foremost about saving that, then paying off debt. Freeing yourself to save, invest, buy a home, and live a more fruitful life. But wait, is debt getting a bad rap? I mean, is all debt bad? Well, let's look at good debt. Good debt is used to obtain something that has the potential to increase in value. It can be an investment, an opportunity, or an asset that has at least the potential to go up in price or worth, benefiting the borrower. One other advantage of good debt is it may have some tax advantages in certain situations. Bad debt, when you buy something on your credit card at the mall, let's say a shirt or a television, the very second the sale is complete and you take ownership, the value drops significantly. From there, it only keeps going down every day as used. So what are some good debt items? Mortgages, business loans, student loans. Bad debt items, credit cards, store retail cards, auto loans, payday loans. Those are bad debt items. Just a thought there for you. Keep a track of those. I want to get back to our conversation this morning, though, of ways to improve your credit score. That's the Word on Wealth segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. So we're talking about ways of increasing your credit score. Yes, I did share this one. Maybe, I don't know if it was today or not, but request an increase in your line of credit as long as you don't use the new debt. This will improve your credit utilization ratio, bumping up your score. Of course, make sure not to apply for new debt. Just increase an existing line. If you want a great score, don't pay all your debt down to zero. FICO calculates a significant portion of your score by your credit utilization ratio. But if you pay off your balances completely, you won't show an established payment history they can use in their calculations. You won't have any payment. 12, try to keep seasoned credit lines open and good standing. 15% of FICO scoring is calculated in regards to your credit history. with favor given to well-seasoned, that means old accounts that have been open and in good standing longer. Anything that is older than 24 to 48 months is helping your credit score. That's one of the areas that we see errors on credit reports, where the creditors stop reporting at 47 months because they know that there's a boost to your credit score when it goes to 48, so they don't always do that accurately. Keep the right mix of credit card, revolving debt, installment debt, and mortgage accounts. Since 10% of your score is calculated by what balance of different kinds of credit you keep, it's good to hold revolving accounts, mortgage debt, and installment debt if possible. 14, when using debt for big-ticket items, shop around in clusters. 10% of your FICO score depends on whether you have applied for credit recently. So you want to avoid too many credit pulls and hard checks, or you want to. So when you shop around for big purchases like a car or a mortgage, make sure it's all within a 30-day window. FICO won't factor those pulls into your score, and even if they're spread out over 45 days, they'll only be treated as one credit inquiry. Add missing accounts to your credit report. A surefire way to build your credit is to add positive accounts that aren't currently being reported. Cell phone companies, internet providers, utility companies, medical billers often don't bother reporting credit because it's not mandatory. But if you ask them to do so, they will often post a new but well-seasoned positive new trade line to your credit report. If you've missed payments and have an account in collections, they'll often agree to erase any negative credit reporting for that account if you pay it off in full, called pay for deletion. Erasing this negative item from your credit report can really help your score. Just make sure whatever you do, you get it in writing. Check with Equifax if your data was hacked and consider some sort of action there as well. So EquifaxSecurity2017.com, EquifaxSecurity2017.com. Big credit score news in 2017 wasn't good as Equifax, one of the big three credit bureaus, saw its database hacked with up to 143 million Americans affected. To ensure that your identity and credit is protected, go to trustedid.com, enroll in their free credit protection program, monitor your credit regularly, consider some form of credit freeze or lock, and again, make sure you can check in with EquifaxSecurity2017.com. Now, I shared with you just a few minutes ago the idea that you can go ahead and get more information on your credit scoring or on your credit, correcting your credit, simply by going to I lost my train of thought there. CreditSanitizer.com. CreditSanitizer.com. It's free. You just register right there, start getting some free tips each day or each week. Once a week, you'll get an email with the tips to talk about what it is that you might be able to do to increase your credit score. Now, there are some folks that you just don't have time to wait for that. And I understand that completely. So what are you going to do? Well, there are also services, and I can put you into, again, I don't do it. It's not what we do at Ron Siegel Radio, but I can put you in touch with some folks that can certainly help you with getting your credit scores increased quickly and efficiently. How do you do that? Well, all of that has to do with just understanding the credit report. And I've gone through and given you information on the credit report. But the issue is just because I give you this information, we've gone through it, we've talked about it, that doesn't make you an expert on it. I tell you that if you look at the months of activity on your credit report, there are benefits at different stages. You have to know where on the credit report to go and look for those things, because you can't just say, okay, I'm going to go and deal with it. I'm going to go and correct my report, but not know what the errors are that you need to report back. If you start seeing that everything stops at 47, or you've got a credit card that's been open for 15 years, yet it's only showing a 20 in there as the length of account, well, that's not benefiting you. So you need to look at those things and say, hey, get those bureaus to correct it and then keep up on those things. Make sure you're always watching those on a regular basis to see that your scores are not getting, manipulated in any way. That's just the issue right there. So a lot of information there. I know that we kind of go through it quickly each day, but if you need some help on it, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We will post the replay of this right on our YouTube channel, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. So if you didn't catch the entire broadcast, maybe you missed the first 4 or 5 items on there, we'll go on there. Jeremy, you got a good point on there. Don't close unused accounts if you don't need to, as that will affect average credit length. You are absolutely correct. So even if you don't need an item on your credit card, don't close it. Now, if it's a revolving item, you went and bought some furniture, you may not have a choice. But if it's something that you have the option of keeping a credit card, go and here's the freezer activity, the freezer solution for that. You go to the freezer, you put all your credit cards in the freezer, you go and you use them once a month. Maybe you're going to Starbucks, maybe you're buying a tank of gas, somehow, some way. Go and use them once a month, go right home and follow the instructions I gave you earlier on the right way to pay those credit card debts, when to pay them, how to pay them. And continue to use those cards. That way they don't go bad. Just a thought for you. Just to make sure that you're paying them properly and deal with them that way. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.